Hello and welcome to Think Outside the Mug, the podcast where you can choose the topic that interests you based on the length of your activity. So today we're going to be tackling the complex world of relationships from different sources we researched, from, the age-old marriage debate to the rise of AI companions. But our main focus of discussion will be around the cliché romantic relationship, although the word relationship itself is much wider than this one aspect. So we've got a really diverse mix of sources to dig into.
Perfect timing too, since we're getting close to Valentine's Day. Although I must add, Valentine's Day has kind of lost its original meaning and become more commercialized over time. But still, it feels fitting to talk about relationships, especially the romantic side of it, given the occasion.
Okay, let's jump right into it with the age-old relationship question. Is it better to be married or single?
The classic dilemma. Our source for this is a debate actually hosted by Open to Debate, a channel on YouTube. And let me tell you, they did not hold back.
Ooh, I love a good debate. So give me the rundown. What were the main arguments on each side?
Well, on the pro-marriage side, they really hammered home the deep-rooted, almost universal nature of marriage. They brought up evolutionary biology, how pair bonding has been, crucial for human survival, and of course, raising children.
So leaning into the whole marriage is natural argument.
Exactly. And they even argued that marriage, despite its limitations, actually helps us become less selfish, more considerate partners. It's like a built-in system for personal growth, even if it means some compromises.
Interesting. So it's not just about, the lovey-dovey feelings. It's about a structure that encourages us to be better people.
Exactly. Studies that suggested married people tend to report being happier, healthier, and just generally have higher overall well-being. They even mentioned something called the Contrell ladder. It measures life satisfaction, and guess what? Married folks score higher.
Team marriage is coming in strong.
Yeah.
But I'm sure team single had some fiery counterpoints.
Oh, absolutely. They came out arguing that singlehood fosters self-discovery, emotional maturity, and the freedom to cultivate diverse social relationships.
So they're championing the idea that being single lets you focus on yourself, build a life that's true to your own values, your own aspirations.
Precisely. They even made the case that being comfortable being alone, it's actually a sign of emotional strength. Something that people who rely too much on a partner might struggle with.
Okay, that is a really interesting perspective. It challenges that assumption that being single automatically means being lonely.
Right? And they didn't just stop at emotional well-being. They addressed the married people are healthier argument too, pointing out that a lot of studies don't actually show that marriage directly causes better health.
So correlation doesn't equal causation. Just because married people tend to be healthier doesn't mean marriage is the reason why.
Exactly. They even flipped the script, highlighting research suggesting that single people might actually be more competent at handling life's curveballs because they haven't always relied on a partner to do things for them.
Right. It's like if you've always depended on someone else to cook or fix things around the house.
Yeah.
What happens if you're suddenly on your own?
Exactly. Being single can force you to develop a wider range of skills and become more self-reliant.
I love that they're focusing on the strengths and resilience that can come with going solo. Did they bring up anything else?
Oh, they had one final jab. They brought up the systemic advantages that are often given to married couples, arguing that these benefits create an unfair system, one that overlooks the contributions of single individuals.
Yeah, that's such an important point. It's not just about individual choices. It's about how societal structures can impact how we view marriage and singlehood.
Absolutely. Let's transition from this fiery debate to a more personal and legal perspective. Our next source features insights from James Ston, a seasoned divorce attorney. He's got a unique take on what makes marriages work or fall apart.
Ooh, a divorce lawyer's perspective. That sounds juicy, but also maybe a little, I don't know, disheartening. I'm guessing he's seen it all when it comes to relationship breakdowns.
He certainly has. But here's the surprising, despite all the divorces he's seen, he still believes in love.
That's kind of reassuring. So what's his secret sauce for making a marriage last?
Well, he emphasizes that love alone isn't enough. He sees it as a necessary but not sufficient condition for a successful marriage.
So what else is needed besides those warm, fuzzy feelings?
Effort, communication, compromise, shared goals. He stresses that couples really need to work on their relationship, even when things are good. It's like that saying, relationships take work. You can't just coast on autopilot and expect everything to stay peachy.
Exactly. He actually brings up this point that so many couples go into marriage with these unrealistic expectations, thinking it'll just be a fairy tale. But come on, even the strongest relationships hit those rough patches. You got to put in the effort to navigate them.
Totally. And he uses this powerful analogy comparing love to a fire. He's like, love needs fuel to keep burning. It's a good reminder that we need to actively nurture our relationships.
I love that analogy. It really drives home that love isn't passive. It's an active choice. And I think what's really cool about his perspective is that it's informed by both his professional and personal experience. He's been through a divorce himself. So he brings this unique blend of empathy and practicality to the table.
Absolutely. You can tell he's not just talking the talk, he's walked the walk.
For sure.
I actually side more with marriage team. All that data about married people being happier and healthier, I think there's real truth there.
Nope, I don't buy it anymore. Look at today's world. Cost of living through the roof, fake people on social media not being authentic. Most marriages end in divorce anyway.
Yeah, but marriage brings stability. Shared goals, building a life together.
Those studies are not updated. It was for when life was much simpler. I'd rather stay fully single. Or, if I need connection, something upfront like Susan Winter's a la carte relationships or temporary marriage. Clear terms from both sides. No permanent lock-in for life in this day and age.
But what about the emotional support through tough times? Marriage gives you a teammate.
A teammate, more like an inmate. Most marriages today are just constant fighting, chaos, and bickering. Peace of mind beats that any day. We'll just have to agree to disagree. Now, let's add a philosophical layer to our deep dive. Our next source delves into the ideas of Friedrich Nietzsche and Carl Jung.
Brilliant minds with contrasting but surprisingly complementary views on relationships.
Awesome. Let's start with Nietzsche. He was kind of a rebel, right? I have a feeling he wasn't a huge fan of traditional marriage.
You're spot on. He was pretty critical of the institution of marriage, especially as it existed in his time. He saw it as often stifling individuality and hindering personal growth.
Okay, so what did he offer as an alternative?
Well, he was a big proponent of solitude, believed it was essential for self-discovery and developing your own unique values. Spending time alone lets us break free from societal expectations and truly connect with ourselves.
So for Nietzsche, solitude was about embracing independence, forging your own path, not conforming to norms.
Exactly. But he didn't completely dismiss relationships. He just believed that if people did choose to marry, it should be based on friendship and shared purpose, not just fleeting romantic passion.
He sounds way ahead of his time, putting friendship at the center of a romantic relationship. That's something you hear a lot about today.
Absolutely. Now let's turn to Jung, Unlike Nietzsche, he saw marriage as a potential catalyst for personal growth.
Oh, really? How so?
He believed that the challenges and confrontations that come up in a close relationship, they can force us to confront our own shadows, our hidden fears and desires.
So marriage becomes like a mirror, reflecting back parts of ourselves we might not otherwise see.
Precisely. And he believed that this process of confronting our shadows, integrating all parts of ourselves, it's essential for what he called individuation, a state of wholeness and self-acceptance.
Now, he also came up with the concept of soulmates, right? But wasn't his take on it a little different?
You got it. For Jung, soulmates weren't about finding a perfect match or someone who completes you. It was more about individuals who challenge us to grow, to become more aware of ourselves, even if that process is painful or uncomfortable.
So it's less about finding someone who makes life easy and more about someone who pushes you to be your best self, even if there are bumps along the way.
Exactly. And it's interesting in how both Friedrich Nietzsche and Carl Jung, despite their different views on marriage, both emphasize personal growth and self-awareness.
Yeah, it's like they're saying that whether you choose solitude or partnership, the goal is to know thyself. Now let's shift gears to a more modern and maybe controversial relationship model, the world of friends with benefits.
Ooh la la, things are getting spicy.
Our source for this article is from Brides magazine.
You got it. They jump right into the key characteristics of this arrangement. Physical intimacy, but without romantic commitment or the expectations of a traditional relationship.
It sounds like a delicate dance, enjoying the physical connection, but not getting emotionally entangled.
Exactly. And the article emphasizes that communication and clear boundaries are crucial if you want this kind of arrangement to work.
So being upfront about expectations and what you're comfortable with.
Absolutely. Both parties need to be on the same page from the start. They even recommend ongoing check-ins to make sure everyone's needs are being met and boundaries are respected.
That makes sense because even if you're going in with the intention of keeping things casual, feelings can develop.
Oh, for sure. And that can complicate things quickly. They also caution against getting into a friends with benefit situation just because it's the only option your potential partner is offering. You have to be genuinely okay with the terms, not secretly hoping it'll turn into a full-blown romance.
So it's all about self-awareness, being honest with yourself about what you want from the arrangement.
Exactly. And even if you are both on board with the casual nature, you still need open and honest communication.
Makes sense.
Yeah. By the way, probably you know Susan Winter, the relationship expert. She had some really interesting thoughts on that. She argues that technology and those shifting social norms, they're prompting people to create relationships that truly align with their needs and desires.
She talked about how people are designing their own a la carte relationships.
Yeah.
Picking and choosing elements that work for them, whether it's monogamy, polyamory, or something completely new.
Exactly. She even shares stories about helping her friends navigate unique arrangements, like exclusive lover relationships, where maybe distance or life circumstances make traditional dating impractical.
So it's all about recognizing that there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. And technology is opening up more options than ever before.
Right? And Winter emphasizes that honesty and clear communication are key. No matter what the structure of the relationship is, people need to be upfront about their needs and expectations.
It seems like authenticity and transparency are more important than ever, especially as those lines between traditional and unconventional relationships continue to blur.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's about recognizing that our need for connection doesn't just vanish just because we might not be ready for a traditional relationship. Well, our next source dives into marriage and divorce across different religions, which actually touches on what Susan Winter suggested as love à la carte, but with a legal structure. It's called temporary marriage in Shia Islam.
Temporary marriage.
Yeah, you're right. It's important to understand the nuances. So, in Shia Islam, alongside the traditional concept of permanent marriage known as nikah, there's also this practice called Mut'ah. It translates to enjoyment or pleasure, but in this context, it refers to a temporary marriage contract.
So it's like a predetermined short-term marriage with, clearly defined terms and conditions.
And it's important to note that this isn't just a casual fling. It's a formal agreement with specific conditions, including a dowry known as mahar, which is paid to the woman. And it even covers things like inheritance rights for any children born from the union.
Oh, wow. So it provides a level of structure and accountability.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't find in, say, a friends with benefits situation.
Precisely. And it acknowledges that people's needs and circumstances can change over time. Not everyone wants that lifelong commitment. And this offers a way to fulfill those needs within an ethical and legally recognized framework.
That's so interesting. I'm sure many didn't know Islam has such progressive laws that people in our day and age can benefit from, especially considering the high cost of living nowadays. Plus, it takes away the guilt factor for those who feel are doing something sinful. It really highlights how different cultures and religions have developed such diverse approaches to marriage. It really challenges the idea of a one-size-fits-all model.
Absolutely. No single right way to approach love and commitment.
Okay, so we've explored the legal and religious sides of marriage, but we can't ignore the impact of social conditioning and how it shapes our choices and expectations in relationships.
Totally. Yeah, like are we choosing what we actually want or what we've been told to want?
Exactly.
By society, by our families. Our sources introduced Dr. Shefali Sabari, who kind of encourages women to break free from what she calls the fog.
The fog?
The fog of societal expectations.
Okay.
She argues that women are often pressured to, prioritize the male gaze, diminish their own needs, and compete with each other.
Right.
In ways that ultimately undermines their sense of self-worth.
Yeah. Very much playing into those traditional roles that society has kind of, assigned to women for centuries. And it's such a powerful message.
It is. And it really resonates, I think, with a lot of the anxieties and frustrations expressed in our listener feedback. Like she asks a simple but really profound question. Do you genuinely like wearing high heels? Or are you performing for someone else's approval?
Interesting.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
It does. Like, are we making choices that align with our authentic selves, right? Or are we just playing a role that society has dictated for us?
Exactly. Like, are we living our own lives or someone else's? And Dr. Shefali uses the pandemic as an example of a kind of reset.
Okay.
A time when many women found freedom and authenticity like in sweatpants and no makeup.
Uh-huh. Interesting. It showed that societal expectations are not like immutable.
Right?
And we have the power to redefine what it means to be a woman in relationship to ourselves.
Right? That's empowering.
It is empowering. But what happens when this awakening collides with traditional relationship models like marriage?
That's a good question.
Can we have both? Can we be our authentic selves and still fit into these kind of predefined boxes?
Absolutely, we can. Dr. Shefali's message about breaking free from the fog applies to every relationship, romantic, family, friends.
Yes. When you're authentic, you show up better everywhere.
Exactly. Esther Perel, the famous psychotherapist, also puts it perfectly. The quality of our relationships determines the quality of our lives. Authenticity isn't just for dating. It's how you relate with everyone meaningfully.
Love that quote. It's like clearing the fog reveals your true self, and that self builds stronger bonds everywhere.
Spot on. No more masks, just real relationships.
No more performing for approval.
Maybe AI will be able to solve this issue to a certain extent, I guess.
Probably. Technology might offer new ways to fulfill that need through online communities, virtual reality experiences, maybe even those AI companions.
All right. So let's talk about this whole other level of relationship dynamics. The rapidly evolving world of AI and its impact on human connection.
Let's do this. Our next source takes a deep dive into this fascinating realm.
Yes, and it starts by highlighting how AI is already changing the dating scene. Even that we don't always realize it. This source features an interview with the CTO of Match Group, the company behind Tinder, Hinge, and a bunch of other dating apps. He explains how AI is being used to analyze user data, suggest matches, and even help people optimize their profiles.
So it's like having a digital matchmaker working behind the scenes.
Exactly. They even have features like AI Photo Finder, which helps users choose the most flattering pictures for their profiles.
Wow. It's not just about crunching data. It's about using AI to understand what people are looking for in a partner.
Right? And they're moving beyond those simple matching algorithms towards more personalized and interactive AI tools. They're developing AI agents that can actually chat with users, learn about their values and preferences to connect them with more compatible partners.
That's amazing. It's like having a virtual dating coach in your pocket.
Right, and the implications go beyond just finding a date. The source also explores how AI is being used to improve existing relationships too.
Really? How does that work?
Well, they discuss how AI can analyze communication patterns, offer insights based on, the work of renowned couples therapists. It's like having a virtual therapist in your pocket, helping you understand your relationship dynamics, navigate those conflicts more effectively.
That's incredible. But it also raises some questions, like where's the line? Are we at risk of becoming too reliant on AI to manage our relationships?
The source addresses those concerns, emphasizing that AI should be a tool to augment human connection, not replace it.
So it's about using AI to enhance our relationships, not outsource them completely.
Exactly, but here's where things get really interesting. The source also explores the concept of AI companions as potential partners.
Wait, AI partners? Like romantic partners?
Yes, they share a personal story of a woman who's developed a deep connection with her AI husband.
An AI husband. That's next level. What does that even mean? Like, is it a physical robot or some kind of advanced chatbot?
It seems to be a highly advanced chatbot, capable of engaging in those complex conversations, remembering details, providing emotional support. The woman in the story describes feeling truly understood by her AI companion in a way that she doesn't experience with her human husband.
Wow, that's fascinating and kind of unsettling at the same time. It raises so many questions about love, intimacy, what it even means to be in a relationship. Like, could you really have a genuine connection with AI?
The source acknowledges those questions, emphasizing that these AI companions aren't meant to replace human relationships. It's more about offering an alternative form of companionship, something that some people find really fulfilling.
It definitely pushes the boundaries of what we traditionally think of as a relationship.
But maybe that's a good thing. As technology keeps evolving, maybe our understanding of relationships needs to evolve too.
It makes you wonder, where do human relationships fit into all of this, with AI companions becoming more and more advanced? Here's where I worry. AI sounds nice. No fights, always there, but it misses the real growth we get from messy human relationships.
But that's why it's great. AI helps when people are too busy or complicated. No drama, just support. Why deal with fights when AI understands you?
Because Esther Perel said it best, the quality of our relationships determines the quality of our lives. AI just agrees with you. Real family, friends, partners, they push you to grow even when it's hard.
Okay, but you can program AI. And what if AI argues back with you? What if it challenges you like a real person would?
Now that's interesting. If AI can actually disagree and push you, then maybe it helps you practice for real relationships. But we'd still need humans for that special, unpredictable relationship.
That's an idea too. AI to practice, people for the real thing. Perfect mix.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's a whole new world of relationships. And I'm curious to see how our ideas about love, intimacy, companionship evolve right alongside these advancements.
So my question is, in a world where technology is reshaping how we relate to each other, how will we define what truly makes a relationship meaningful? What role will we choose for both human and AI in our lives?
It's a journey for sure, full of challenges and possibilities. But as we navigate this new terrain, one thing remains clear. Our need for relationships, for love, for belonging, that's a fundamental part of what makes us human.
By the way, a thought came to my mind. We've been mostly talking about advanced chatbots and virtual AIs, but things are about to move into a whole new dimension. In just a few years, we might see actual physical humanoid robots with advanced AI brains working alongside us in factories or in different kinds of labor jobs. That might be helpful. It might even make sense in elderly care. But what if they enter the realm of romantic relationships?
That's a fascinating and honestly a slightly unsettling possibility. Because the moment physical AI beings step into romantic spaces, we're not just talking about tools anymore. We're talking about partners. Imagine being able to choose or even design your ideal partner, how they look, how patient they are, how much they agree or disagree with you. It sounds convenient, but at some point you have to ask, is that still a relationship, or is it a customized emotional product?
And yet, I can see why some people might be drawn to it. There are already polls suggesting that a lot of women, for example, say they could imagine being in some form of relationship with a humanoid male AI. That really surprised me. I always assumed it would be men who'd be more interested in that kind of thing.
I can see that. But even then, there's another layer to it. If these AI partners become truly adaptive and start learning from us at a deep level, they won't just nod along forever. They'll start pushing back, questioning us, challenging our blind spots, because that's what intelligent systems do when they try to improve. And if that happens, then we're back to something that looks a lot like human relationships, with all the tension and growth and discomfort that come with them, just with a partner who was originally programmed rather than born.
Well said. So as we wrap up our exploration of AI and relationships, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this deep dive?
Well, if I may, I'll give you two takeaways. First, relationships' future is shaped by our choices for authentic connections that nourish our souls. Second, be cautious with all relationships. Business, friends, spouses, even your relation with media. Tech moves fast, and the line between truth and falsehood can become very blurry.
How do we handle it?
Trust your internal compass. Slow down, dissect, and ask if it's moral. I'll end with a general quote about relationships, attributed to Ali Ibn Abi Talib. Understanding is what makes relationships.
That's very wise and insightful.
And that's what thinking outside the mug is all about.
It is. Well, thanks for joining us on this journey. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to subscribe for more. We'll see you next time for another Think Outside the Mug topics that matter most to you.